All right, so we got a busy day ahead. Got 4 or 5 meetings. Got all my meeting prep done yesterday and earlier this morning. We're going to use a small custom homemade panel, gessoed, sanded a few times, and we're going to paint a little sunset scene over the bay. The advantage of the small surface, small panel, is we'll be able to get it done quick, which is needed today. This will be done in a tonalism style, in that there'll be few, if any, hard edges. Minimal use of white, no use of black. Largely a tonal quality intended to provoke feelings more than communicate photorealism in any way. So in this case we have kind of a very rough semblance of land on the other side of the bay, some trees, shore we could barely make out. Just want to get an indication of that with a mixture of burnt umber, and we really don't want to worry too much about the shapes here all that much. Okay. And then, as a matter of fact, what we'll do is, without cleaning the brush very much, we'll get some yellow ochre on there. Go ahead and brush that in. Very wet and drip all over the place, and that's fine. We're going to wipe most of this away. Get it into it so the water will be. All right, I'll put away that big brush. Go with a paper towel. Just try and use every inch of clean paper towel here. Really just staining the canvas, or in this case the wood panel. All right. I'm going to look for a larger round brush. I have one here. If I don't, that's fine. I could always go with a flat brush. Just going to get some of the paint off of there. I'm gonna dip into blue. I'm gonna go ahead and get that on there. A mixture of blue, a little bit of titanium white. So ultramarine blue, titanium white. My linseed oil on there. Push it onto the panel a little easier. Okay. Some more clean paper towel. Get rid of any harsh lines. Work some of this red down there on the horizon. It's almost pure red. Diluted a lot with linseed oil, which does alter the color. And I'm working it in with a smaller brush with the intention of creating some variation in the texture and also being able to work it down to the treetops. And what's next? You got it. We're going to go in with our paper towel. There's some clean spots on this, so I'll go in with the same paper towel. And a combination of wiping and patting. Don't want to be too heavy-handed with the effort to wipe away this red because we do want some relatively intense spots down near the treetops and the horizon. We're going to wait to put in the water. We might not even, my intention is to make this water, but we might make it a field. Who knows? I want to get a sense for how the sky is going to form before I make that decision. Of course, if I make it a field, I'll have to change the name of the painting. Maybe from Sunset Over Bay to Sunset Over Field. Not feeling that creative today. Probably the tension associated with knowing that I have a bunch of meetings that I need to execute on. But that's all good. That's a good thing. It's a very good thing. The balance between work and work here in the studio and the rest of life. All right. I'm gonna get a little lavender-ish kind of color up into the sky. You get a little bit of blue in there. More of that light blue. There we go. I'm going to build in some cloud formations. Some of this lavender into the land mass here. We're going to get some of that brown that came up onto the brush into the clouds. Probably going to go through and get a little bit of that red closer to the horizon, mixed in with that burnt umber or that brown. And some of that red falling down behind the trees. And if it mixes with the burnt umber, that's totally okay. Oh, interesting. There we go. And we want some taller trees. We want some taller tree masses. We don't want them all to be uniform. All right, so what I'm gonna do is pull in some gray on the same brush, and I have mixed from previous paintings here. It's kind of a warm gray. It's got some red and lavender in it. It must be what must have been left over. I'm bringing the yellow ochre in there, and I'm gonna just create some variance amongst different elements in the landmass here. some variation in the opaqueness of the shapes, the darkness, the lightness, the warmth, and the coolness, the temperature, so on and so forth. Okay. I'll probably wipe this brush now and grab some of that purple and work it into the gray and go through and do the same thing. It's dioxazine purple, almost pure dioxazine purple mixed with my homemade gray, which is a mixture of every color. It's been on my palette for the past week. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna put this brush down. I'm gonna take a step back. Just think about this a little analytically here, and then put away my brain for a minute. All right. Yeah. So I think I am going to pull an audible here. I think I will, at least I'm leaning toward this now. I'm going to make this a field. The sunset over those treetops. We'll see, I might change my mind again, but we'll see. I'm gonna get a dry brush, and I'm just gonna ever so softly feather the different elements in the sky, just to soften edges and blend. Make the different transitions a little more subtle. And then yeah, I kind of like the way things are going with this bottom portion here. Nice warm yellow ochre-y, making up my own words left and right here today, field, which pulls forward because there's yellow in it. Yellow's the warmest of the warms. force it here. Sorry if anybody tuned in and was really hoping to see a scene of a bay created here, but that was my intention, but I decided I like the way that this is forming on its own, painting from imagination, but having seen enough reference photos that I kind of had an idea in mind. I just like the way this is going, with this being more, I guess, more of a better feel, with the indication that we might have a field running up into this line of trees. I'm going to cool that off a little bit as you get closer to the tree line, with a mixture of gray, burnt umber, and lavender in that yellow ochre, and we'll see how that works out for me. Because there definitely would be some shadow, and I definitely would want to include elements of some coolness. If it runs up into the tree line, that's okay, as long as we're mindful to make sure that we want to create some hints of there being a transition from the shadow ground plane up into the trees. There we go. Okay. Yep. You know what? And if you finish faster than you intended, there ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm going to take a step back and just make sure I'm not missing an opportunity to elevate the painting. Here we are, 23 minutes in. And yeah, I like to think we're done. And I actually have, this is a custom panel, so I had it cut to a specific frame. So as soon as this dries, we're going to be able to frame this and get it ready for hanging, and then it'll be a decision of whether or not we hold on to it for a while. Or offer it up for sale, but it's pretty much how it's going to go. And you know what, I might put it in there just to see, just curiosity, just to see how this will look framed. Might offer some clues in as far as whether or not there's anything else I need to do to elevate or advance the painting. And you know what, I like it. You know, arguably I could work some lavenders or purples into the upper atmosphere and some grays. Yeah, but I like it. Around here we do get sunsets like this where the top of the view is covered with maybe what are remnants of a sunny day's blue skies, and yeah, those are great ways to end the day. So I think yeah, maybe we'll leave it as is. Well, thanks for joining. Hope to see you next time. And hopefully we can keep making progress on our painting journey here, maybe together. Have a great day.